this is a bit more of formal essay planning for this Bosola essay. So I've attached this PowerPoint to today's lesson on frog, but I've chucked some extra ideas in, so I'll re-upload this after I've recorded this video so you can access it. Okay, so here we've got this idea of Bosola being a traditional Jacobean malcontent. And the things that we know about the malcontents, I feel like I should be asking a question. They're educated, but excluded from society. They're often nihilistic. They are aware of corruption, but unable to avoid being complicit in it. You know, Bosola knows that what he's doing is wrong. He is self-aware enough to understand everything that occurs in the court, and he also manages to kind of mock it to a degree, all of that stuff about, say then my corruption grew out of horse dung. And now when you look at Act 2, Scene 2, you've got Bosola and the old lady and these ideas about sexuality. But one of the cool things about Bosola is his refusal to flatter. Okay, whereas pretty much everyone else in the court is a flatterer or a panderer, and that's the way that the court is run. We're shown this right at the beginning, at the beginning of Act 1, Scene 1. Here, Bosola says no. Okay, and a really nice, just make this bigger, really nice simile being used here by Bosola to talk about Antonio. Hopefully we can see, oh, I don't know what happened there. Hopefully we can see the links to the rest of the text. He says, an honest statesman to a prince, you know, a statesman as in a courtier, is like a cedar planted by a spring. The spring bathes the tree's roots, the grateful tree rewards it with his shadow. You have not done so. Here, Bosola is criticising the Duchess for the way that she's treated Antonio, but it's really similar as well to that imagery of he and his brother are like plum trees growing crooked over standing pools. So this constant referring back to this image of good rulership as being like water, okay, like the fountain. And here we've got the spring. The spring is the ruler, the tree is the statesman, okay? And this idea of about being honest, while it's difficult to do, is one of the best things that you can do. And it's interesting that these kind of lines come from Bosola, who is one of, you know, the most duplicitous characters in the play. We know this. We know that he's lying to the Duchess, but what he says is actually quite true, which is interesting to have a little think about. And then by the end of this speech, we see a potential for change in Bosola. You know, he knows that he's got to do what he's been told. He knows that he's got to follow Ferdinand's instructions, but he's not very happy about it, is he? He says, what rests but I reveal all to my lord, you know, okay, I'm going to have to tell him, oh, this base quality of intelligencer. And this idea about base, okay, that here it means low, and he fully recognises the problems, the difficulties with having to do kind of Ferdinand's dirty work, but he is compelled to do it because of what he's being offered as a reward. Okay, so, the essay. In the opening scenes of The Duchess of Malfi, the most compelling character is Bosola. In light of this view, explore ways in which Webster presents Bosola. Okay, so, how does Webster present Bosola? Things that we could say. That he is the moral, not centre, I'm going to put that, but I don't really mean centre, moral centre of the play. Now, what is true is this idea of medieval morality plays. So these are, they came from the kind of very early dramatic tradition where people weren't massively literate, so you ended up with plays being put on to tell Bible stories, but also to teach moral messages. And most of the time it's this idea about the fight between good and evil over a central character's soul. It's where we get those ideas about like the angel and the devil on each side of your shoulder and then fighting. And Bosola is really at the centre of that within the revenge tragedy, or within this revenge tragedy. There is this kind of the conflict for Bosola's soul. So that is one way that Webster explores him and makes him important. Here's the malcontent and all of that philosophical ideas around that. He's also the intermediary between, helpful spelling, between the play world and the audience. He inhabits that kind of liminal space. I'm going to write that down because you'll probably want it. He inhabits that liminal space between the world of the play and the world of the audience, and he can move between both. And he can also move between the different classes on stage. He's one of those characters who can quite easily interact with everyone. So, moves freely around different spaces. Because we have talked, and we're going to talk more, about this idea of the personal and the political, and the private and the political. And Bosola is able to navigate both in a way that makes him quite unique. Okay, so he navigates us through the play. We see the play kind of through Bosola's eyes. He's a source of nihilism, which is common in revenge tragedies, as we know. And my personal view, you know, because I really like Bosola, is that it gives us, it gives the audience a contact space or a contact character. I feel like we can understand, we get more opportunity to understand Bosola and his motivations than we do any other character in the play. Okay, so Janie's excellent idea. This is what I was touching on in my video. She says, Bosola clearly seems to be sympathetic for Antonio, saying both his virtue and form deserved far better fortune. I think his sympathy is genuine. He was unaware of the connection between the Duchess and Antonio. And dependent on production, this can be played in different ways. You know, I've seen it genuine, like, oh my god, really? And I've seen sarcasm, okay? It very much depends on the director's choice there. Nonetheless, his later shock at some preferment in this world can yet arise from merit, and how merit can be rewarded suggests that he had learnt, perhaps through personal experience, that merit is not usually rewarded. And there's loads of evidence for that in the play. Find it, get it in your essay. Perhaps his scholarly background and his philosophy have been broken by the selfishness of the world. Yes, beautiful line there. Well done. Really, really impressed. This could be why he feels sympathy for Antonio, as he could have been in a similar position to him where his merit was not acknowledged. Excellent. And there, at that point, go back to your workbook and where there are comparisons between Antonio and Bosola. You know, Antonio is kind of perhaps what Bosola could have been if he was less committed to, you know, gain or making money or attaining social status. Okay? Perhaps Webster could be arguing that merit is still yet to be rewarded and that society needs to change. This could be why Bosola still deceived the Duchess despite knowing that she will reward his merit, as society is not like her. And this is a really lovely idea. I haven't had anyone come up with this before. This this point that Bosola, despite knowing that the Duchess is quite a good woman, continues to deceive her, continues to behave in this duplicitous way, because he doesn't believe that society is like that, and that even if she is, that he's not really going to achieve what he wants. Fab. Couple more resources for you. If you search Bosola, the malcontent, look, I've already done this. There's lots and lots of resources available online while that loads. One thing I have found is this PhD submission. Now, you don't have to read the whole thing, it's 365 odd pages. But it's about the presentation of Bosola, particularly towards a kind of drama-based interpretation. So they're thinking about the way that Bosola is presented on stage. Oh, my internet might be working. No, maybe not. Other resources that are available to you, you've got the Dropbox, which has got all the notes that have been covered kind of across the last